All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to the 7th episode of the Camaro Z28 build. In this episode, we're going to get this thing running. Enjoy the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Welcome back, and thank you for tapping in. In this episode, the plan is to get this thing running. Finally! What we're doing right now is working on the engine bay, trying to get this thing cleaned up a little bit because a lot of the junk that you saw is unnecessary, right? Like it's old wires for like the EGR, ECU stuff that it's been deleted before I even got the car.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
So the first thing that we have to do, my wiring for the fan is wrong, and I need to get the wiring for the electric choke onto the carburetor. I've already found a 12-volt ignition source, so I need to switch the fan wire to go to that. And what I think I'm gonna do is just run the fan and the carburetor choke to that one source, because it's not the 12-volt source for the fans. It's really just like a signal for when the key is on to let the fans know that they can turn on. So in the meantime, I'm going to get these wires sorted for the fan and that 12-volt source, which is just to a connector that's definitely not going to be used. So definitely just going to just chop that and splice it together to make it work. So let's get to it. This is the fan wire that I had kind of just there while I was testing. But what I'm going to use instead is this connector. So I know this wire here is a 12-volt ignition source as tested. So I'm going to depin this wire, and then I will run into a ring connector. All right, so I have the ground run to ground. I have my signal wire here and my 12-volt source. The key is now on. That was really just a quick fix for the fans, since I wired that up incorrectly the first time, or I used a bad source for the signal wire. So since I needed to get the choke wired on, since it's an electric choke, it made sense to fix that and, you know, just put them together, although I'm still waiting for that choke connector. Got our gas can for one, and we have a vacuum. Ooh. We have a vacuum gauge. So if you don't know what this is for, this is to tune the carburetor. So for those that don't know how it works, and I'm just learning this. So tuning, you hook up the vacuum gauge to the carburetor, and then you set the screws. So basically you max out the vacuum. So it's tuned well once the vacuum is maxed out. And once that's done, then you can set the idle speed to what it needs to be. It's actually pretty simple. Yeah, I still actually need to set the choke as well. It might be good, but I'm not certain. I've been going through, checking the wires, seeing what I can remove, seeing what I can't. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip all that stuff off, clean it up a little bit more, and then from there, then it's going back to the wiring for the choke. This is why I love getting in the garage early, because it's cool now in the garage, so I can work. I don't need all the fans going. It's chill. It's not that bad. Now the heat's up. I start sweating. It becomes too much.
Whoop-de-doo.
As the sweat goes up, my desire to be out here goes down expeditiously. But long story less long, we got the engine bay done. The light wire tuck is complete for the most part. Not much else I have to do with it in terms of the wiring. There's kind of a spider web of nests and shit down there, but some of that is the battery charger as well. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Since I've cleaned up everything in the engine bay, there was one thing that I was kind of missing that I had to do some research on and figured it out. So firstly, there was the charcoal canister. So before, it had two lines coming off of the, I think that's the tank return line, I forget. I'm pretty sure it vents back to the tank, or it helps the tank vent. So there was two lines coming off of that one, or that line, and one of them was going up to the engine bay. So I mistakenly just routed that to the carburetor. Turns out it wasn't supposed to go to the carburetor, and it would have been terrible. I was supposed to go to something with the like the old EGR, I think. So went ahead and deleted that line. I capped it at the charcoal canister. So now that's good. The other issue that I had, and there were three, was I had this, and I forget the exact name of it, but it's supposed to help with vacuum pressure. So I had that capped off. Easy fix. I just did, like I said, doing a little bit of reading. I learned that's what that was. So I went ahead and just ran a line for that to the carburetor. And then the last issue that I had that I wasn't sure of, or I wasn't aware of, was the return spring for the throttle. I think it looks a lot better. Definitely not having the wire loom coming across the engine bay there. It's definitely cleaned up a bit. And now get to the exciting part and see about starting this thing. All right, prepping for first start. We got our starter fluid. We have a line to a, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of ghetto.
That's stupid.
But to a jar, and that's gonna be our gravity feed fuel line. So once it gets started off of the starter fluid, then it's gonna feed fuel from the gravity feed fuel tank jar. But should be good. We're about to go ahead and give this thing a crank or two and see what happens. Wish me luck. All right, so we added a little fuel to the carburetor. I recruited the wife.
Boy, if you don't get...
Again, she's helping me with the cranking. We should be good for a start. We'll see now.
Flashback.
All right, so the first attempt was a failure. It's not starting and running long enough to actually pull the fuel from the gravity feed that I had set up. I learned this after the fact, obviously. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna use this inline pump that I got, and I'm gonna use that to prime the system, fill up the bowls, and then we'll run it, and then it should run and start perfectly fine. I'm gonna make sure that I can do this and not blow something up, but it should be fine. So we're gonna try that here now, and we'll see if it works. So we primed the system with the fuel pump. It has a little bit of gas left, and then the carb or the bowl should be full because it stopped pumping. We're gonna give it one more go and see if it runs. Wish me luck. This is me calling it for the day.
One eternity later.
Lots of failure going on in the last couple of days.
Why, where you been?
I've completely fallen off on this video chronicle thing. I've been failing miserably. But to give an update on or a rundown on what's going on, we got the Y pipe. The passenger side is welded, so that should be good to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this thing installed. Hopefully, it's not too much of a pain in the ass. I think it should be fairly easy, but knowing how this thing is, it could be a total fucking pain in the ass too, but we'll see. We're gonna go ahead and get to work now. The driver's side is on, that's done. It wasn't as much of a pain as I thought it was gonna be, but honestly, I'm pretty sure it was. I never thought it was gonna be anyway. It's the passenger side that I kind of figured was gonna be a pain, and that's the side we're about to start on now, so wish me luck. Well, hopefully it doesn't go by, or hopefully it's not too terrible to get on, but we'll see.
A few moments later.
So I messed up, and I tightened the driver's side down before lining up the flange on the passenger side. So I have to take the driver's side off again to make sure that both are lined up before tightening that one all the way down. I'm gonna spare y'all on that, but I'm just gonna get that done and I'll be right back.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I got it done. It's on. It's not moving. Hopefully we'll get this thing started tomorrow. That's the plan for now.
The next day.
All right, the day is finally upon us. We're about to get this thing started, or try to start this thing again. I'm not guaranteeing anything yet. I come out in the garage, probably not the best sign. My damn, one of my garage lights are burnt out. So hopefully that's not a sign, but we're about to go ahead and try and start it. So first I gotta prime these fuel lines, get some fuel into the system, and then we should be good to go. It's not really that deep, but I'll spare y'all and we'll just get to it once we're ready to start. So be right back. All right, so it's clearly starting. It clearly seems like a fuel delivery issue. When I'm able to get it to start and run for any decent amount of time, it's basically from pouring fuel into the carburetor, and it'll run for a little bit, but it's still not getting fuel from my gravity feed line. I thought I primed it. I'll try priming it again to see if maybe that helps it start pulling fuel into the bowls. I'm not really sure at this point why it's not.
Stupid.
We're calling this a dub. At this point, it's running. The issue is obviously fuel delivery. Manually adding the fuel into the carb bowl, it runs for as long as there's fuel in the carb bowl. I think that if there's any confirmation is that. So I think the next steps, or the next logical steps, I think at this point is to go ahead and get some fuel in the tank and prime that system as much as it needs to be primed. We're gonna call this a W. So W first start. It ran a few times now, but again, it's just as long as there's fuel in the bowl. Maybe next episode I'll focus a little bit more on that, you know, getting fuel throughout the actual fuel system and making it actually idle long term, more than just that. Yeah, I think I'm done for now. I'll see you guys in episode, what am I on, 7? So episode 8, where hopefully this thing will actually idle and we'll be able to make some more progress with working toward the first drive. So that's going to be interesting and exciting. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If not, let me know in the comments. If you did, let me know in the comments as well. It's been an interesting episode with a lot going on and kind of sporadic for sure. But ultimately, we got to hear this thing run. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. All that shit. Peace.